Okay, so today I'm going to talk about bulking for the natural lifter. Bulking and the natural lifter. So yeah, let's talk about that. So let's first start with what bulking is. Well, bulking is gaining weight in order to gain muscle. Now, all of people that want to build a lot of muscle, they have to incorporate some sort of a bulk. It can be a clean bulk, it can be a dirty bulk, but it's going to be different for everyone. First, let's start with something. Now it depends on the bulking. That's going to depend on if you're playing sports like that, have like a weight class, for example boxing, wrestling, whatever. If you have that, first of all you have to be careful with your bulking. Maybe do the bulking a little bit slower, but if muscle mass is all you care about and the weight class component is not something that you care about, then you don't have to worry about the weight too much. So yeah, let's talk about bulking for the natural lifter, the Natty lifter. So in order to get like a lot of size, reach that genetic potential, you have to bulk. You have to bulk. Don't listen to anyone that says that you can eat at maintenance calories and just gain a ton of muscle. That's not realistic. It's probably not going to happen, and it only works for like very fresh beginners, because for fresh beginners everything is working, and these fresh beginners have to be a higher body fat percentage basically. So let's say you're over 15% body fat, yes, eating at maintenance calories is going to work. But for a very skinny hard gainer who's like very lean, probably 10% or sub 10% body fat, or even for the people that are 11-12% body fat, eating at maintenance calories is not going to work, or it's only going to work like very small amount. And yeah, so why is that happening? Well, because for the Natty lifter the calories matter, that energy matters a lot. Because for not naturals, now I'm going to talk about not natural lifters too, the natural lifters. But why is bulking so important? Well, let me ask you something. Let's say we have like two persons at the same height, the same body fat percentage. One of them weighs 150 pounds, the other lifter weighs 190 pounds. The same height, the same body fat percentage. Who's going to have the bigger muscles? Right? The 190 pound lifter. It makes sense, right? That's why, for example, all of people say that you can eat at maintenance or even like do a very slow cut and gain muscle. Let me tell you for who that's going to work. The unnatural lifters, the not natural lifters. That's who this type of eating works. For the natural lifters, especially the skinny hard gainers, the lighter weight lifters, they need to bulk. Now again, I covered the weight class component. Now if you have like weight class, well, now I'm going to talk about that. So how do we actually do a proper bulk? Now I would say for most people, let's start with beginners. You're just starting out. Now, no matter what your body fat percentages, let's say for very skinny hard gainers who are probably very lean, sub 10% or 10%, all the way up to 15-16% body fat percentage, I would say do a clean bulk. So what do I mean by a clean bulk? Well, do like a 5 or 10% surplus, like the 5-10% calorie surplus. let's say you're maintaining your weight on 3000 calories, that's your maintenance. A 5% is going to be 5% is going to be 150 calories on top of your 3000 calories that you're maintaining your weight on, and the 10% is going to be 300 calories. Alright? So I would say keep the 5% is for the higher body fat percentage lifters, and the 10% is for the leaner lifters. Again, that's for natural lifters. So why does that work so well for these people? Well, because the calorie surplus is just big enough, but not too big that you gain a ton of body fat, because it's actually a realistic calorie surplus, a realistic weight gain, that you're probably going to gain like a pound, 1.5 pounds, or even up to 2 pounds of weight a month. That's going to keep you very lean. Most of that weight is going to be muscle, if not all, especially if your training program is very good. If your training is on point, you're training hard, the volume is on point, recovery, sleep, all of these 2 pounds of weight gain a month are going to be like all clean, all muscle weight. And the lifters that are higher body fat percentage will keep that to the very small calorie surplus is going to equal like 1 pound, like 1 pound to a pound and a half of weight gain a month. I mean, that's going to be very lean weight, to be honest. You're not going to be gaining fat, especially if you're just starting out, like in your first year of lifting, of training. All of that weight is going to be muscle weight, because 2 pounds is only like a kilogram a month. That's nothing. Seriously, I gained way more, stayed very lean. I would say that's going to be a very lean bulk, so you need to do that. And don't be afraid just because you're not seeing your abs like at the moment, because your body fat percentage is a little bit higher. Don't worry about that. Seriously, don't worry about that. Build that muscle first. Build that muscle first. You're going to thank me and thank yourself later. Because if you just get leaner now, right, you might get leaner, do a cut. Well, let me tell you something. You might not build much muscle. Second, if you want to see your abs, you first have to build them. So a lean bulk is going to do wonders for that. So yeah, that's for people that care about their body composition. It's going to be all muscle gain, all muscle being gained. And let's say that you're on a 10% calorie surplus for 6 months, and you stagnate, you stall, you're not gaining weight, your lifts have stalled. Well, what do we do now? Well, bump up the calories. Bump up the calories again. You probably have a new maintenance. You probably run the 3300 calories for 5-6 months. It's probably going to happen sooner, believe me, because of that extra weight gain and that muscle is going to increase your energy expenditure. You're training hard, you're way more muscular, so yeah, bump up the calories. You probably have a new maintenance, so bump up the calories again, 5 or 10%. 5% for the lifters that have more body fat, and 10% for the leaner lifters. Again, that's going to ensure that you're gaining all muscle. So yeah, do that, and every time you stall for weeks, bump up the calories again. Keep doing that. Bump up the calories. So you might do that for a few months. You might stall, right? You might stall and you stagnate. Well, don't worry about that. When you reach that new calorie maintenance, you're actually going to recomp a little bit, because you're still training hard, you're building that muscle, you have a lot of momentum, so you might actually lose some body fat and you're going to gain like a little bit of muscle. So, and later you bump up the calories. When you notice that you're not progressing faster, you bump up the calories. You do that for your first 2 years of training, you're going to see like a wall of progress, and you're going to reach that intermediate stage very quickly. Probably going to reach that stage very quickly, but keep doing that. That lean bulk is going to help you. Now let's talk about the not natural lifters. Why they can get away with eating a lot more calories, they dirty bulk. Their calorie surplus is a lot bigger, like 15, even 20% calorie surplus. Well, they can get away because they're not natural. Their genetic potential is way higher now. They unlocked more potential, if that makes sense. So they're going to build muscle in a faster rate, and they have the ability to gain more muscle than they can actually carry naturally. So they can get away with dirty bulking, yes, they can get away, and most of their weight that they gain, it's all muscle. It's muscle. And they stay lean, they might not lose body fat, but they stay lean year round, right? And that's not the case with the natty lifter who wants to do a dirty bulk, because dirty bulk is only going to work for the not natural lifters and for very skinny hard gainers. But if you do that for a very long time, you're going to gain a ton of body fat, believe me, a ton of body fat. So think about that. I would say run a very small calorie surplus, like 10% calorie surplus max. So yeah, the not natty lifters, they can get away with it. They can get away with it, but I would say stay natural. Stay natural is not worth it. Stay natural and you can make like great gains. You can make great gains as a natural lifter. You just have to be smart with your diet, your training, rest, recovery and sleep. So yeah, so basically you eat, you bulk, you eat in a caloric surplus. When you stagnate, everyone stagnates, right? We all stall for some time. Personally, I've stagnated for a very long time, so it's just realistic. I've been training for over 5 years now. It's just realistic. So I did the clean bulk myself. I gained some body fat because I ran like a higher calorie surplus. Because I was so focused on that weight gain that I forgot about the fat gain basically. To be honest, I kind of regret doing that, but you know, you learn by making a lot of mistakes, but if you actually listen to me, you can gain all muscle. So yeah, and also let's say you clean bulk for like a year. Well, you can do a soul cut. You can cut some body fat, right? Get a little bit leaner, lose some body fat, and then do another cut and repeat the process, right? You bulk for, let's say, 6-8 months, or you can bulk through the whole winter, get lean for the summer, maintain, or just do a very slow lean bulk in the summer, just maintain that body fat percentage, and when it's time, when the summer is over, you do another clean bulk where you might gain a very small amounts of fat, but it's all going to be fine. Alright, it's all going to be fine. So yeah, that's the truth about bulking and the natty lifter. That's what works for naturals. Don't listen to people that say you don't have to bulk, you don't have to gain weight. You have to gain weight. And you have to gain weight slowly over time, work your way up. That's the secret. Don't listen to people that say you can recomp, like be huge at 150 pounds. No, it's not going to happen. It's going to take you a few years, but I promise in the first 2 to 3 years, that's when you're going to see like the biggest change. And when that phase is over, you're going to be advanced, and you're going to thank me. You're going to thank me for not wasting your time, because I can just tell you, well, eat at maintenance. Well, that's only going to work for not naturals, and even they have to bulk to get to that size, because you can't create muscle out of nowhere. Like, how are you going to create that muscle? right? It doesn't make sense. We have to think. We have to think, right? What has always worked? Bulking. It's slowly gaining weight over time in order to gain muscle, right? We need to gain some weight. And some people might say, well, if I only gain like 1 pound of weight a month, well, that's only 12 pounds of muscle, right? Well, 12 pounds of muscle is a lot of muscle. And you're probably going to gain more in your first year of training. But you have no idea how much muscle is that realistically. And you do that for 2 years, well, you're going to have like completely different physique. So yeah, if you want to make things a lot simple for you, I offer online personal training, custom training programs, custom videos and online chat or video consultations. You can contact me on my email. I'm going to leave it in the description down below. Also check out my Instagram and you can contact me there to chat with me. See you very soon. That's what bulking does for you. You need to bulk to get the huge muscles. I bulked for years. Guess what? I'm bigger, stronger, and I'll keep bulking.